Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again for our prayer time this week. This week, we want to focus on our ministries, our missions that we are going to be doing this summer. There are several different things that are going on, and you've been hearing different things about our plans and our schedules, and things are still a bit up in the air, but we're trying to plan as if everything was a go. And so I want to just kind of focus in on some of the things that we'll be doing this summer that would be considered our mission, kind of mission projects, if you will. And I'm here in our incredible children's ministry area, and I decided to shoot it in here because one of the first things that I want us to pray about is a very serious one, and that is our Vacation Bible School ministries that we do in the summertime. We are planning to do them on both campuses in July, and so but all of that is contingent upon what's going on in the world at this time. So let's just we see so many children come to this campus, come to the Chelsea campus. We meet so many families. We get to minister to people that may never come to this body, this church, any other time. And so it is a very important time for us as we love on and minister to our children and their families. And so I'd ask you for just a moment to pause for just a moment and pray for our kids, our Vacation Bible Schools, and the things that are going to be going on right here on our campuses this summer. So if you would please just pause and pray for our Vacation Bible Schools. Now, I want to move us out from our buildings into our missions points. And the first one, or the closest one that we have, guys, is the Harbor Coffee Shop, right downtown Oologah. It is designed. It was dreamed of as an outreach post, as a way for us to show the love of Christ to people, to provide a need, to provide a service in way of coffee. But that is not our goal. Our goal is not to really not to serve coffee, but to love people and to show them that we care. And so, if you would please, just for a moment, here's the picture of our building. If you would just pause for just a moment and pray for Jamie and the guys and gals that are working there, that they would be used of God, and that people would see Jesus in them, and that we would see God do amazing things in that building and in that little yard next to it as we enter into the summertime, where we can do some outdoor activities there. So if you would please just pause for just a moment and pray for the coffee shop. Now we move further out. And one of the exciting things that is coming up for us that is brand new is we have been asked to partner with the mission in Owasso, First Baptist Church. They are putting together a network of distribution points for food over the next 6-7 weeks, starting next week, actually. And we are one of those points. We're going to have a trailer, a refrigerated trailer at both campuses, where there will be boxes of food. And the things that they're going to include in those boxes are dairy products, so cheese, milk, butter, those kinds of things, vegetables and fruit. All of this stuff is fresh because of the helps that the government provided for farms. There is a certain percentage of their produce that they are required to give away. And so there's just an amazing amount of food. And so we are going to be able to distribute that. So if you would please, some details are trying to get worked out. You'll hear more about that even on Sunday. But we just have a lot of things that are possibilities there. Again, it'll only be for 7 weeks. We're thinking that we're probably going to start on the 23rd on a Saturday, and we'll go from there. But anyway, we're going to be asking you to pray for that God would lead us, show us exactly all the details, but also that as we give that food away to families, we would be able to also share the love of Jesus. So again, I'm going to put the Harbor Bubble up, and if you would just pause and pray for this opportunity we have to minister to people in our community through giving food away. All right, pause and pray. All right, now we are excited about the summertime for a lot of different reasons, but one of the reasons is because we are going to once again be going down to City Church in Amarillo. This is an incredible ministry to children primarily. They obviously are a full church, a full body church, but their focus in the summertime is on feeding children, and they feed thousands of meals a week on over the course of like an 8-week or 10-week period in the summertime. These children, just because of the virus, the pandemic, they're still hungry, and so they are going on as scheduled, as planned, and so we are planning to go down with them on July the 5th. That's a Sunday. We're going to go, and we'll be back on a Friday, whatever that date is. I can't recall now off the top of my head. But anyway, from July 5th through the 11th or 12th, something like that. So if you would please just pause and pray for a couple things. One, for our mission team, because it's largely students. There will be adults as well, obviously, but it's primarily a student ministry trip at this point. We certainly don't deny anyone that wants to go. You're welcome to go, and it's a great ministry for families. It's a great ministry for anybody really. And so, if you want to be a part of that, just simply call me. That'd be fantastic if you wanted to go with us. But we do focus in obviously on the students and trying to get them out in missions. And so, one, would you pray for our team as it begins to build, and secondly, that you would pray for protection and provision for City Church. When you think about hot meals for thousands of children every week on a church that has about 125 or so members, that's an incredible amount of money that has to come and has to be provided for those children. And so would you pray for their provision and for their protection as they venture out and build this ministry this summer, especially in these trying times. So if you would please just pause for just a moment and pray for City Church and for our team that will be going down there in July. All right, moving out a step further, in November we will be going down to Matamoros in Mexico to work with the Angels of God, with Linda and Freda. What a wonderful group of people they have down there serving children. And so we'll be down there doing a lot of different things. Several of their teams have canceled this summer, and so they do have a lot of things that need to be done. I talked with Linda last week, and she said that there's going to be a lot of things that need to be done simply because many of the things that were going to be done this summer are not going to be because of the coronavirus, and they are not having any problems there in the home because they're isolated already. So there's not been any issues with them. But we're planning to go like we normally do over the holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday. So if you would please just pause for a moment and pray for our Mexico mission, our Mexico brothers and sisters, and certainly the children that we will be going to minister to in November. All right, finally, in our mission points, we have a partnership with Ecuador. And Ecuador has been in bad shape. I don't know if you've been able to see on the news, but Ecuador has had some real struggles. They are a state-run medical medical ministry, I guess, medical, golly, what would it be? Medical work. And so their infrastructure is not very good. And so we don't know when we're going to be able to go back in there. We had planned to go have a team going in April, and we had planned to have a team going at the end of February, at the end of July, and then again in maybe October, November. But all of those are really kind of up in the air at this point. And so there's a couple people we need to pray for by name, and that is Corey and Les, who are down in Sulphur at Crossroads Church down there. They are our partners. We partner with them, and we go with them they kind of develop the team or the mission, and we join them in that down there in Ecuador. Many of you know, obviously, that Les was here as our student pastor and just has a real passion for Ecuador. And so would you pray for those guys as they seek out wisdom and knowledge to know when it would be okay for us to move back into actually going down there. But in the meantime, guys, we can certainly pray for them. And so I'd like to ask you to do that real quick. Just pray for Ecuador, pray for wisdom, pray for their leaders, pray for their people, and pray for those guys, Corey and Les, who are leaders on our end to get us back down there where we can see our brothers and sisters face to face there in Angamarca. All right, so pause for just a moment and pray for Ecuador. All right, finally, just want to say, I'm going to put the HC bubble back up here in a moment, but remember that we are all on mission. And so I want us to close out this evening by simply praying for you and for me, praying that God would use us for His glory as we seek to be His hands and feet here in Ulaga, in Chelsea, in Amarillo, in Mexico, in Ecuador, and everywhere else we might go. That God would go before us, He would lead us, and that through everything He would be praised and glorified. See you this Sunday. Thank you for joining us. Pray for Harbor Church and for yourself, because you are the church. We love you. Have a good rest of the week. Bye-bye.